Welcome to the Itch Network podcast, where we discuss all things happening with movies and video games. I'm Spencer, and I'm talking with my good friend, Ninja C. Ninja, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty awesome. Just got back from a trip to Disneyland. Just drove back home yesterday. It's a 5-hour drive, and I think I got a little sick out there. We were going to do the podcast yesterday, and then right when we were about to get started, I felt a little rumble in my tumble, if you know what I'm saying.
Little rumble in the Bronx, huh?
Yeah. So thank you for letting me postpone it for one day to recover from that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
But before we start getting into news and all that good stuff, Ninja, what have you been watching and playing this week?
Oh, what have I not been watching? Well, we had the last podcast about Venom. Went and saw that with the wife, and Quiet Place, and Sicaria, the sequel, Day of the Sadada. I don't know if you might be able to pronounce that better than me.
Let's start with Sicario, then go to Quiet Place, then Venom, because we both saw the last two. So let's start that. Let's do it that way.
Okay. You want me to lead off then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Sicaria is a really good sequel to the first one. Obviously, you need to see the first one. Spoilers: Emily Blunt doesn't come back. I think she has some scheduling conflicts, but I mean, it just adds to the summer of Brolin, man.
Summer Brolin.
Summer of Brolin. I mean, he's in Deadpool.
Avengers.
The Avengers. I mean, he's made billions. And in here, but really, Benicio del Toro, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really takes the cake and becomes more the lead in this one. So it's pretty good. If you like the first one, you'll probably like the second one. If you haven't seen the first one, what are you doing seeing the second one? Yeah.
Okay, so you can't watch them out of order.
No, I wouldn't watch them out of order. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. A friend of mine said he loves the first Sicario movie, so.
Yeah, they're good, man. They're really up to date, really relatable to drug problems that we have in this modern day society, and human smuggling too. There's just a lot of elements to it.
So it gets 5 ninja stars out of 5, or
I won't be that generous. I'll do 4 out of 5. There's always room to improve.
Oh, okay. And then you saw A Quiet Place, which I saw, God, whenever it came out, like a long time ago.
Now, did you see it in theaters? Because we had 2 different experiences.
Okay, yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Okay, I saw it at home, so it's going to be quite vastly different. How was the theater in
It was
when you were
good.
watching Quiet Place?
Theater was good. People were quiet, which is kind of, obviously, if you've seen it, a pretty important part of it.
But very unusual, right, for this day. So people looking at their phones and not turning them off or putting them on vibrate.
Yeah. My girlfriend really she's the one that spurred it because she wanted to watch it because of the actor. She likes the John Krasinski guy.
Yeah, I still think he shouldn't have Emily Blunt, but who am I to say?
You know what's funny is in the trailers he had his shirt off for parts of it.
Okay.
And then in the movie, I don't recall him ever having his shirt off.
Yeah, you know what though? He's in a new series on Amazon Prime that
Jack Reacher or something, right?
Yeah, it's actually made me kind of warm up. I've been watching it with a friend, and he's a talented guy. I guess I can overcome big ears and big noses. So
does he take his shirt off in Jack Reacher?
Oh yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's a selling point. Maybe that's it.
I'll have to let my girlfriend know. There's another instance where John Krasinski takes his shirt off.
Yeah, is that the approval of your girlfriend's? Is that her criteria for a movie?
Oh yeah, I'm
like
sure.
The first checklist.
Yeah, it's like, does Chris Pratt, Ryan Gosling, or John Krasinski take their shirts off?
Yeah, but Chris has always been funny. I mean, even when he was like another person, he was pretty big in Parks and Rec, man.
Yeah, he was great. No, he's a talented guy. He's got a lot of charisma.
Oh, definitely.
Speaking of that, we just went to at California Adventure. They have a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. It was really cool.
Is it like a traditional roller coaster, or how does it go?
It goes up and down, like really high in the air.
Okay.
And it's like an escape from The Collector. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
And they're all in it. It's mainly focused around the raccoon boy, but
yeah, a good old Rocket Raccoon.
yeah, that's the cat's name.
Or Captain. I guess it's a rabbit. He just calls him rat. Thor calls him rabbit or
Yeah.
whatever.
So what did you think of A Quiet Place?
Um, if you, it's an enjoyable movie if you don't look too deep because it has a lot of plot holes. You could probably drive a Peterbilt or Mack truck or whatever your brand of diesel truck through it.
That's my brand.
Um, but yeah, really enjoyable. I mean, they must have saved money because there's only a handful of people in it. The rest is CG aliens.
Yeah.
So
I looked at it as less of a horror movie and more just a drama. And I think you'll get most of your mileage out of that. But you say that there's a sequel to this movie?
yeah, apparently it was pretty successful. For the budget to profit ratio was
Oh,
pretty
no.
pretty good, because if it doesn't pay the bills, yeah, budget was about 17 million, grossed worldwide 332 million
Wow,
dollars.
that's
So
impressive.
quite a return on a 17 million dollar. That's like chump change with a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely
Because
nothing.
I'd love to compare that to Venom's when I get Venom's budget pulled up. How much of a difference? I mean, Venom's not done still. I don't know if it's hit. It's got to hit international market. What's it been out like for 2 weeks or so
Something like that.
now? So yeah, I mean, Quiet Place is done. It's hit the international market, and I think a lot of movies. I definitely the Fast and the Furious movies and the Transformer movies are still afloat because of the overseas market.
Oh yeah, they love that stuff.
But a lot of these movies we're catering to China now, so that's a thing.
Yeah. Um, well, that's interesting. I don't see how they could make a sequel, or thematically a sequel doesn't make any sense, but I guess if it
Yeah, I think
made enough money, then just
I think they're gonna call it Quiet Place 2: Search for More Your Money. Yeah. No, I mean it's good. It was tight. It was 90 minutes. Remember when movies were 90 minutes? They were
Yeah.
paced really well.
I loved it. I thought that was
Not
great.
these.
It had one little message it wanted to get. It had a little theme, and then it ended. It was great.
Exactly. I mean, you have an objective and you just stick on that without having three different villains and side stories and plots and everything. So
Yeah. But, oh well. All right, and now the main event here of the movies is Venom.
which we both saw in theater.
Yes, we did.
Paid our hard-earned money. No pirating.
No
Fully
parody.
supporting the Actors Guild and all that.
Yeah, we gave Tom Hardy our money.
I'm pretty sure Tom doesn't need it. But I think he's doing okay. I think he's still got some Batman money.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right. All right, so Venom, of course, got a spanking on the internet. Got like 30 something percent on Metacritic.
Yeah, it's sitting at about 35 right now. Critically, most critics, yeah, pretty low scoring. But on the upside, user reviews pretty high.
Okay, and that leads us to what we thought. Ninja, I'm very curious because we haven't talked about this at all. What do you think about Venom?
Well, me and the wife watched it, and I felt it was very entertaining film. Being a Sony film with coordination from Marvel,
Yeah.
because the characters, I don't think they could have. I don't know if they could legally have Spider-Man in it, but for a standalone film, uh, I feel like I could have enjoyed it a little bit better if it was R-rated. They had to do some creative cutaways.
Yeah.
Didn't really get the whole thing. It didn't look that dated to me. Really enjoyed the interaction between the Venom character and Tom Hardy.
It seemed
Because
kind
I
of
think
like a buddy flick, huh?
yeah, almost almost like a cop buddy flick. Yeah, because I think Tom did the voice. It's just manipulated through software or whatever. The end of it. I mean, I guess spoilers alert again. that wig on Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Wow, I saw a lot of great
Oh,
memes. They look like Carrot Top. Oh,
he did.
I wish they would have did. No, that was. I thought they should have just put Carrot Top there. But a lot of memes from Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons.
Yeah, he looked exactly like those two.
Yeah, I think if this was done years ago when Jim Carrey was hot, I think Jim would have been a great one because I've actually read the material of Carnage and played some of the games related to the character, and he's very
Can
mantic, and you need
can
a mantic.
can you briefly describe Carnage, like his backstory? Where'd he come from? I don't know anything about him.
He's a serial killer. That
Oh, okay.
he's pretty out there. That's why they have him in the confinement. But yeah, pretty insane. So it's not like
And somehow he
uh,
gets like a symbiote attached to him.
yeah. Then um, so he's not like Tom Hardy where he's just a normal guy, normal guy, normal tax-paying citizen. So
I want to know the tax records on every character in the Marvel universe. I
I
want to see
know,
who's paying
right?
those taxes.
um, but yeah, I mean, it's what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree with you on the R rating. Very, very much so. If that movie was rated, I think here's what I think. I think if that movie was rated R, it would be one of the best Marvel movies I've seen in a long time. Because I think they were going for somewhere in between Deadpool and a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? To me, it was kind of like a whole joke. Like the whole movie was a bit of a joke. And
Yeah, there's
that's
definitely a humor aspect to it. And that's what I like because I like. Well, I mean, these days all the Marvel movies are pretty humorous anyway. They're almost overtly humorous. Definitely after Ragnarok.
yeah, but this one felt like it was making fun of itself. Like it
Yeah,
knew
there's
it
a little.
knew it
You can say a
was,
little bit of satire
and
involved in it.
I was like, there's a little bit of Deadpool and a little bit of a regular movie. And I think if
Mhm.
it were rated R, a lot of those jokes would have really made sense. And
Well,
like,
I think so too. And again, there wouldn't be so many cutaways from the
yeah,
violence of
because
well,
that would have been the joke. You
yeah.
know, that would have been like it would they would have been have like the little things they were saying, which is funny, and then just brutal violence to kind of cap it off. Like, oh, that's funny. Instead, it was like a brutal joke, and then you cut away to the next scene. It's like, oh, we just missed the punchline a little bit. Case in point, do you remember at the very end? And if spoilers, whatever, I don't think anybody's really worried. But do you remember at the very end when they're in the convenience store and
Yeah.
he
He
like
goes to
just
let's say he goes to this convenience store frequently. It's in his neighborhood, so he
yeah.
knows his preference that. So
And then there's a goon, and he ends up massacring him, right?
yeah. He's extorting the lady for money for protection money.
Yeah. Well, an R-rated movie, that would have been this graphic, hilarious scene of him ripping that person to bits and then kind of walking out, and the whole place is like bloody and gory and everything. And
Yeah,
instead, because it's PG-13, we get him just walking out, and it's completely clean. I specifically looked to see what the area looked like. It was completely empty. There was nothing in it.
you can
There's
do like a before and after
no,
shot.
yeah, there's no blood. That would have been humorous if he walked out and the whole place was just this bloody like crime scene. And there you go. To me, that's the movie in a nutshell. Is why is this movie not rated R?
But then you wouldn't have got the great lines like "turd in the wind." There, you know.
It's true.
I mean, did Mel Brooks write this stuff? It's gold.
But yeah,
No, turd in the wind.
I thought it was pretty. I didn't think it was as bad as the reviews said.
Yeah, I mean there was some bits and pieces. The wife really didn't like the nice scientist lady that was trying to help out dying. Kind of just like again they cut away. Oh something did happen to her when they
Right.
released the dog didn't die, so we're good on that. You can't have a child or a dog die.
Why not?
So just people don't like it.
I think that would
So
hit well.
yeah, I didn't even think about it until a few days later. The Venom symbiote transfers to the dog, so I guess the dog's compatible, and then his girlfriend had Lady Venom,
Yeah.
and then goes back. I'm like, wait, what happened there?
That was a lot.
But
Now I'm thinking about it. Now that you're running that by me, that's a lot of really good luck.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of now. Well, now there's a bit of a plot hole, isn't there? The more I talk about this movie, I guess I'm liking it less and less.
The more you can poke the holes on it
Yeah.
too. I don't know. It had some glimmers of. I really liked it when the SWAT team came in and they were doing the like smoke grenades and tasers and all that. It kind of reminded me of T2 with that where Arnold's getting the teams going in. They're doing smoke and the Terminator swore that he wouldn't kill anybody, so he's doing it non-lethally. And he's doing it
Oh
non-lethally,
yeah.
and Venom's doing it non-lethally there because I guess uh, Tom Hardy's characters tell him, "No, we can't eat. They're good guys. They're just doing their job.
That's a
Don't eat
good
them."
point.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I had a lot of. I think we were on the same page. It could have lived up to more potential if they would have just rung it to a rated R rating.
And after Deadpool, I don't know why they wouldn't. They could
Yeah, with
market
the
it well
success
that way.
of Logan, Deadpool, are we missing any other ones out there that?
Man, Logan. Logan was such a good movie. I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I have the noir version of it, it's just black and white.
That's interesting. They made a noir version of it.
Yeah, I think you got it if you got it at Walmart. When it came out, there was a no, because like Best Buy, Walmart, Target will do exclusives,
Hmm.
and that was the exclusive there. So,
Interesting.
or you could just get a really old TV and and hook it up somehow with the DVD or Blu-ray player.
Yeah. All right. Are we good on movies?
I'm good on my sheet.
Okay. Let's skip over to the video games before we get into the. We only have two real topics today, but before we get into that, let's talk about some new releases. On October 11th, which was yesterday, probably the greatest game of the year came out. I'm gonna assume
Keep us next.
it's called
Suspense.
Spencer on the Xbox One. And then let's see. It's a Spencer is a classic jump and run with challenging levels and enemies. Find missing items, destroy enemies, collect coins and diamonds. 3D graphics, 2.5D levels for hours of fun. I'm
Oh,
only
I'm
naming
sorry.
it. I'm only
Xbox One
naming
still
it because it's my
has-
name.
I just thought everybody bought a PS4 because of Spider-Man, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, Spencer missed the boat. Should have been released on the PS4. Typical Spencer.
I really hope it's Xbox exclusive to get back at the Spider-Man fans.
Yeah. Like they're weighing their options. They get Spider-Man or Spencer. I highly recommend they get Spencer. A couple of remakes, reissues for the Switch. We got Child of Light Ultimate Edition. That's a Ubisoft RPG. And then The World Ends With You, which is a Square Enix RPG-ish thing. Don't know a whole lot about either of them, honestly. But I hear The World Ends With You has a big fan base, so it should be big. And then, of course, today, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 came out, which is, of course, a huge deal, and to you and me, I'm pretty sure, means almost nothing.
Oh no, another generic military shooter.
Yeah.
Eat that up with a spoon, man.
Although I hear they put a Royale mode in it, so.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Re- They're getting on the bandwagon.
Yeah, should be a hoot and a half on that. Don't know if I'll be getting it. I might get it to play with Rosie, but I highly doubt it at this point. It's getting good reviews though. 90 apparently on Metacritic. I'm pretty sure they removed the single player games out of these now, so they're just multiplayer.
Wow.
Makes sense. Give the people.
So there's no story missions at all?
Don't quote me on that, but I know that they've been talking about that for a long time.
I can believe it, but I don't want to.
Does anybody really care about the single player Call of Duty? At the end
No,
of the
just
day?
the single player. That just adds fuel to the fire of just getting rid of single player. People still want that experience.
Yeah.
And there's still probably a few people that live in like rural areas that don't have high speed connections that actually affects their gameplay.
That's very true. That is a very true statement.
I mean, there's still limitations on that. Remember the '90s?
Okay, let's move on to a discussion that won't take as long. So let's do the PlayStation Classic, and then we'll talk about Blizzard after.
Sounds great. And then we went from. Should we recap the 5 that were released from the last podcast?
Yeah. So yeah, the PlayStation Classic, all the games have been announced, and also it doesn't have a charger. It has a USB cable, and you can charge it yourself. That's cool. I don't know what's up with that. But the games we knew about were Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Wild Arms, and Jumping Flash. And the other 15 games have been announced. I'll run through them, and then afterwards we can talk about what we like, what we don't like, and so on and so forth. Metal Gear Solid, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, Rayman, Crash Bandicoot, Gran Turismo, Tomb Raider 2, Demolition Derby, Die Hard Trilogy, Resident Evil, Dino Crisis 2, Theme Hospital, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Silent Hill, Vagrant Story, and then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Can you please elaborate on Everybody Loves Rayman? I've never played that one. That sounds great. I love the series.
It's a good side scroller. It's as good as my.
I'd pay good money to play.
Yeah.
What would that be? Is it a puzzle game? Is it an RPG?
It's an escape the house game. You have to get out of that house.
Oh wow, it's like The Sims. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad Metal Gear Solid's on it.
I feel that just like Final Fantasy VII, that we'd have Pickett. What's the things they chase down Frankenstein with? The
Pitchforks.
Pickett, pitchforks and flames and all that. If we didn't have Metal Gear Solid, so.
That's good. Tenchu Stealth Assassins. You said you loved that game. I never played it, but a friend of mine did.
But I'm a little biased. I have an affinity for ninjas and the Asian culture, so
I couldn't tell.
It is a very good. It is because it came out pretty close to when Metal Gear released. I had both of them, so if I got tired of Metal Gear, I switched to Tenchu. And it was good enough to have a sequel to it too. I think they even had 3, but I think they went on to PS2 for that, for the third one.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's Poison Rice is kind of overpowered on it. It's kind of a one-trick pony. But besides that, yeah, pretty good gameplay. But I mean, you cannot have Metal Gear. Come on, man. Like when I got the PlayStation, that was one of the top. Absolutely. It's a greatest hits, and I think Tenchu was one too.
We talked about Everybody Loves Rayman. Crash Bandicoot. That seems.
That's their mascot. That's that's like not having Mario on a Nintendo system.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have put Crash CRT. The Crash racing game is actually really good. It could.
Speaking of racing, Gran Turismo. There you go.
Gran Turismo also great, more realistic.
I mean, game. If I had to wager a guess, I would say that game probably didn't age well.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of known for? It's not more arcade style racing, right? It's more for the realistic, like branding of the cars and
the sim racing
and all, and control. I mean, if the controls are good, I think you can kind of.
I'm curious of that, and the reason I'm curious is because when I played Twisted Metal recently, just for fun, like on a other thing, it didn't use the DualShock. It only used the control pad.
Makes sense, yeah.
And it played like ass.
Yeah, that's probably because the PS1 didn't really have great D-pad. It was.
Do you know why that is?
kind of weird how it was designed. No, I don't. I don't.
Nintendo had a patent on it.
Oh
That's why they
wow.
couldn't make like a
They
D-pad
couldn't
that
make
you're
the actual
familiar with.
cross pad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah. I
actually
always
only
thought that was really
ended
weird.
a couple of years ago, which is why you see it on everything all of a sudden now.
Wow. Wow. Those patents, man.
Bitch. Uh, but yeah, I'd be curious if that drives well, knowing we don't have sticks anymore. Actually, the controller doesn't have a stick though, does it? Isn't the controller without DualShock anyway?
Yeah, the controls without DualShock. Well, that limits the amount of games. I know the monkey game, the Ape Escape or whatever,
Yeah,
can't even be played because you need the DualShock on it. So a lot of the later generation PS1 games, you won't be able to play it
that
unless they
blows.
later want to come out and charge us more money for
From what I heard, that's not
something.
happening.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
a
Sony doesn't like more money. I guess.
Seems that way. Tomb Raider 2? All right. Game controls like ass, but all right if people want it.
I never really was a fan of Tomb Raider, so
Yeah, I hate those. I think they're
pretty terrible control. I think that's what really put me off for it. So.
Demolition Derby. You said you never even heard of this one.
I think I had it for a demo. That's it. I'm not very familiar with it.
I think
I really wish they would have had, like you said, Twisted Metal or Vigilante 8 was a great combat car game.
I'm
Or
really
Road Trip that I actually still own. So.
I'm really surprised they don't have Twisted Metal 2.
Oh
Specifically
yeah,
that was like the big one.
yeah. That actually was a pretty big upgrade from Twisted
And
Metal.
they own that company, so I don't know why.
I mean,
That's weird. Die Hard Trilogy. You said this was an arcade shooter, right?
there's an arcade version of it, and it's pretty mediocre itself. So I assume the console version is
Who's
fairly
asking
mediocre.
who's asking for this one? I don't know who's asking for Die Hard Trilogy.
I don't know for the movies. The first one's really good, and the rest are okay. So I looked at some footage on YouTube. It didn't really stand out. There's a lot of people that are nostalgic about it, but it looks like people have played it. And it didn't age very well itself. So
Resident Evil. You wanted 2.
yeah, because 2 is so much better, such an improvement by leaps and bounds, and just
Yeah, I think 2 is probably better too, but I guess it makes sense to put the first one in for historian's sake. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, if this is more like a museum than an actual console, sure.
Dino Crisis 2. There's your sequel.
Yeah, it's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. So there you go. Maybe that's why they put Resident Evil 2 because they had Dino Crisis 2. So.
Yeah. Now here's one I've never heard of. It's Theme Hospital, which we're looking at it. You're saying it's like a sim game?
I believe it's a sim game. I think there's an ongoing that company makes like theme games, like Theme Roller Coaster and
I've never heard of this. Is there a reason they had to put this on here instead of Final Fantasy 9? They couldn't just swap that? Or Chrono Cross or any great game that came out, they had to put Theme Hospital? Ugh.
made by Bullfrog Entertainment.
Bullshit entertainment, sounds like.
Yeah.
That was a Spencer joke. All right. And then, of course, here's the big one, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's a no-brainer. You were begging for it to be on it on the last podcast.
It had to. It had to be again. Riding in the streets, cats and dogs living together. It'd just be insane. It just. Oh my god, dude! I had that, and then the game was amazing. And then you flipped it. There was a way you could play the soundtrack. I think you just took the. You didn't play it as a game, but you played it as like a music CD or whatever. The music's great. Come on, it's classic. You've played it on the channel and got tons of views. People love this game.
It did really well.
It's hard to pick apart this game, man.
Silent Hill. Did you ever play the Silent Hill games?
Yes, I own the Silent Hill. Love it. Very very atmospheric. But I'm again kind of biased toward that. I love the BioShocks, so they're very atmospheric games. This being before BioShock. Yeah, I think it's great. It's a little less action than Resident Evil. If you never played Silent Hill, it's a little less action than Resident Evil. Because you're not this big buff SWAT team or cop or anything. You're a writer, you know.
So the pen is mightier than the sword,
Pen is
but not really though.
way up so. But yeah, I think it's a great addition to it.
Did you know that the mist was due to hardware limitations?
Oh, really? Well, that's great. You know what? That's very creative. Well, it was the draw distance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know the PlayStation was pretty much played with that.
Vagrant Story, which I did play for a little bit. I like that one.
Yeah, it had a great art style. I remember
That takes place
the most of it.
in Evilise, the same place as Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, that's probably why I liked it so much. I'm a huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan. Had on the PSP and the Game Boy Advance. So.
And then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Wow, I can't believe they got it with that soundtrack, but that is phenomenal.
Yeah, let's. We might as well be called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's the '90s soundtrack for it, man.
That game is so good. That game is
great. It is great.
I think on Metacritic, that game's listed as one of the greatest games of all time. I think it's one of the highest rated.
Really, yeah, it's well received. I played it a ton with friends, my cousin, brother. Everybody loves that game.
Yeah. Let me check. I got the best games list here, I think.
Because isn't that when they had the just from memory? Isn't that when they had the edited mode where you can make your own?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's just such a huge improvement over. Again, it's these on the PS1. All these sequels were just huge improvements. Unlike movies where they go down in quality, they went up.
Yeah. It's number 2 of the greatest games of all time.
Holy crap! What's number 1?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay.
You know what's weird though?
Understandable.
Number three is Grand Theft Auto 4, which I really disagree with. I didn't think that was that good. But
yeah, it's probably just. Are they doing it just by the sales or just?
no, I think they're doing it by critics. Because
Yeah,
honestly, the user review for Tony Hawk 2 is 7.4, which is really low.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, that's the thing. Do you think it's gonna do well? What's your opinion on this thing?
Well, I mean, did the NES Classic do well? Did the Super NES Classic?
They both did incredibly well.
Yeah, didn't we have scalpers and people, eBay and stuff? I see them in the stores now. And once the initial hype died down, I know people that have them that enjoy them. So, do I feel you should probably get more titles for your money? Sure.
It's like $100, right?
Yeah, it's $100. So, I mean, if you piece it out, you got 20 games. So, I wish there was a little bit more features. I think what we talk about, the chargers didn't really come with it. Hopefully, it's powered by the TV itself because most.
No, you got to plug it into the wall.
Okay, wow. So
with your own adapter. With your own phone charger or something.
Yeah, I don't like that because some phone chargers are different on voltage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, I don't know why they're shortchanging everybody. So
that's really weird. I don't like that. It's interesting you said it's if you piece it out, 20 games, $100. That's $5 a game. Would you pay $5 for Die Hard Trilogy?
Negative. But
what about Theme Hospital?
I think to rebuy Rogue Trip was around close to $10. So you can still get these games reasonably. I mean, you're not going to get. It's going to be hard to find some of the more well-known games for that price. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is probably going to cost you quite a bit.
That's very true. And also, you don't have to have memory cards with this.
This is true, too. Hopefully, they'll do save state. I think I really like that about the Super NES Classic.
Save state's pretty awesome.
So.
All right, and now let's get to the main point of the gaming section. We have the Blizzard Experience, Diablo 4. Blizzard Experience is coming up pretty soon. And apparently this year it's rumored Diablo 4 is going to take center stage. You a big Diablo fan?
I had it even on the I had Diablo on the computer and the PS1, which loaded terribly. You could literally get a sandwich and some chips and a soda, and it wouldn't be done.
Wow, you're one of the guys that got it on the PlayStation. I saw that
Yes.
at GameStop like years ago, and
I played it over at a friend's house quite a bit. And it was really easy to switch, like I guess, a dupe or share resources and stuff with other characters. So.
Yeah, You went from Diablo 2 to what's your thoughts on Diablo 3? We talked about it a little bit, but elaborate on here.
Now, Diablo 3, I feel like was a step backwards for it. I want to say alienated the hardcore fans. It went more simplistic to be more generalized for the console market. Because remember, Diablo 2 was not had no version on the console. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I think you're right.
and Diablo 2 had a huge shelf life.
I think people are still playing it, I've heard.
Yeah, there were mods, there were updates. The fans really wanted to keep it going. I played Diablo 2 almost up to the weeks to months till Diablo 3 came out.
Yeah, I don't really play these games a whole lot. I played, what was it? Path of Exile a little bit, and I liked that a lot more than what I played of 3. I played the demo of 3, and that was back when they even had like a cash shop. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Wow, that brings back memories. Yeah.
And I played it a little bit, and I said, this is really restrictive and dull.
Yeah, Duel's one really. When they got away from the skill tree, I think that was a betrayal of the Diablo core system.
Yeah, the skill tree, and then you go to Path of Exile, and it's like nothing but skill tree. It's like
It's more of it's a skill forest, man.
Yeah,
It's so complex. But
like,
some people want that, and
I want
think
that.
I think they alienated some of the hardcore Diablo fans.
I think so. Some weird rumors on this one. Do you want me to go through some of these rumors?
Oh yeah, please.
All right. The main one, and all of them kind of circle around this idea, is that it's going to be an open world game. Kind of in the same vein as a World of Warcraft Fallout type situation. But it will still be isometric. That should be interesting. No zones. It's a sequel. Internally, there are 2 names, and I'm getting this from the Daily Star. That's where I'm reading this. It's a sequel. Internally, there are 2 names they've been bouncing back and forth: Diablo 4 or Diablo World of Sanctuary. Oh. Hopefully they go with Diablo 4. That makes sense. It is not a single-player game. It's still multiplayer. It will be an isometric view. Do you ever play Lineage?
No.
Me neither.
Not playing Lineage. What game is it similar to?
It would be like a World of Warcraft, but isometric. You can go anywhere, dungeon, slaying random mobs, or even PvP. Mainline quests, they can be played solo or with friends. There are no separate acts. The world is giant and free. Most of your time will be spent doing side activities. There's expected to be PvP. You can see and meet other people in towns and regions. Again, there's no zones, so it seems like it's just going to be an open world. I would be curious. It mentions here there's no news on server capacity. It'd be weird to see how many people they could cram into it. But it'd be kind of cool if they made like a battle royale version like we've been talking about. They're doing with everything else. They might as well do it with this.
Everybody jump on the bandwagon.
Why not? It's supposed to be a lot darker than Diablo 3. I don't know. Was Diablo 3 really dark?
I think it was light and fluffy.
Light and fluffy?
Oh, I mean, didn't it have like the unicorn level or something with the rainbows and all that?
Boy.
No, it wasn't very goth-like or dark visually. I don't know if they mean like story-wise or just visually dark. But
visually. Classic classes returning, such as Barbarian, Sorceress, Amazon, Necromancer, and Paladin. No information about Diablo 1 or 2 remastered. The game was being developed ahead of time and will, with next-gen consoles in mind. Okay, so this is another console experience. The game will be coming to PS5 and Project Scarlet, which is the next Xbox at some point in time. So basically,
wow, so
It's an open
Doesn't
world.
sound like it's recent, so it doesn't sound like it's gonna be. They're already not saying PS4; they're saying PS, the next PlayStation.
Looks like
Wow.
we got some time on this one. So there you go. It looks like it's gonna be an open world game and everything kind of built around that.
I don't like how it's shaping up already.
I don't know. I guess I'd be okay with it. But
so it sounds like World of Warcraft meets Diablo meets Battle Royale.
They're gonna throw Battle Royale in it. Yeah. I think that they've got to. But yeah, that's weird. It's weird. I would expect that they're going to dumb it down even more.
I feel that way too after what I've seen. So
that seems to be Blizzard's thing right now, is making everything super simple. Like, I used to be a huge fan of World of Warcraft, but then it got so noob friendly, so dumbed down, I completely abandoned it.
You feel like they're just basically just trying to compete with the casual gaming market now?
Yeah,
everything as casual as possible.
Absolutely. And I just don't think it lends itself well to like hardcore RPGs.
I feel like they're getting away from that. That's a time that's passed.
Yeah, but maybe Path of Exile will keep that going. Maybe
they've been successful, and they keep doing updates every time I open Steam. They've got a new
auto downloaded update for you.
Yeah, they're patching, or they've got an expansion or something. So I have friends that still play it.
That's good. There's still hope for us hardcore RPGers out there. All right, man. Well, that's all the news we got.
Guess we'll see you next week.
Yep. See you guys next time. This has been the week of ending October 13th. Ooh, 13th. Not quite Friday the 13th, though, because today's Friday. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week. We'll have a bunch more news and probably some movies that we've seen. Until then, thank you so much, Ninja, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.